I am like physically hyperventilating right now.
Yeah.
I need a brown paper bag, I need an oxygen tank, and I need a direct unlisted phone number to Dravo's audio mixing department.
Oh, they're actively being sued by the Electronics Union as we speak. I am sure of it.
Because the sheer volume of shrieking that just occurred on the right couch of that reunion.
Bedlam. It was absolute bedlam.
It has fundamentally altered my brain chemistry. Like, I am broken, I am battered, I am just spiritually exhausted.
The decibel levels alone violated several international treaties, honestly.
Right. So we are gathered here today to perform a full autopsy on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 17, Episode 19, Reunion Part 2.
Yes.
And the mission today is to figure out how a cast of grown, wealthy women managed to devolve from throwing, like, subtle, masterful shade into a screeching auditory war zone.
A war zone that literally required legal documents to resolve, mind you.
Exactly. So, babes, welcome back. We love you, we see you, and we have spiked Brazilian limeade on deck today.
Very necessary.
Because a housewives reunion of this catastrophic magnitude absolutely requires something cold, citrusy, and, honestly, slightly dangerous.
I noticed you poured aggressively heavy on the rum today.
I did, and I'm not apologizing for it. We need the fortification to survive the psychological warfare we just witnessed.
I mean, it's really the only way to endure the sheer, unadulterated delusion that radiated from that stage.
Totally.
So cheers to the Snark Squad. You survived Part 2, and we are here to hold your hand through the resulting trauma. We are going to dissect the lies, the bankruptcies, the props, and the plumbing.
Oh my God, the plumbing. Seriously, cheers, babes.
Cheers.
Honestly, just sitting here with this limeade, looking at you in your matching silk robe.
Which is fabulous, by the way.
It is, but it's making me incredibly emotional.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a profound moment right now.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
No, seriously, because this entire year has been an absolute roller coaster, and I was just spiraling this morning about how chaotic and beautiful it's been since we literally moved into the exact same apartment building.
Well, the convenience is unparalleled, obviously. But the chaos is borderline criminal.
How is it criminal? I don't think people understand the sheer codependency of this situation.
I just don't think I fully processed the implications of our proximity. Like, I didn't realize that signing a lease on the 4th floor of your building meant I was also legally binding myself to unannounced, aggressive takeout deliveries at 11:30 at night.
Okay, excuse me.
You treat my apartment like a secondary pantry.
Those spicy garlic wings from down the street are a legitimate love language, okay?
It's not a love language, it's a hostage situation.
No. And the fact that I can just shuffle down the carpeted hallway in my slippers, carrying a greasy cardboard box of poultry, looking like an absolute swamp monster.
A literal swamp monster.
And you just open the door, sigh heavily, and accept it. That is the definition of true, unconditional friendship right there.
I open the door, and there you are, manic, clutching chicken, demanding we dissect reality television lighting choices.
And you'll love it.
I mean, I will admit, the matching silk robes do elevate the aesthetic of our late-night spirals. It gives us a very specific, wealthy widows plotting a maritime murder vibe.
Yes.
Which I deeply appreciate. We look like we're about to poison an air.
It is the ultimate luxury vibe.
Yeah.
But really, think about everything we've survived this year so far. I mean, my brain immediately goes to our trip to Ethiopia.
Oh, Lord. The Dora Watt incident.
I am still, to this literal day, recovering from that spice level at that restaurant in Addis Ababa.
The hubris you displayed at that table needs to be studied by anthropologists.
I have never, in my decades on this earth, sweated so profusely.
The waiter gave you a look, a very specific, universally understood, cross-cultural look of extreme warning.
He did, he really did.
He practically begged you to reconsider the spice level, and you just doubled down. You looked him right in the eye and said, "I have a highly developed palate."
I thought I did.
Cut to exactly 14 minutes later, and you are physically vibrating in your chair. You were hallucinating from the Burberry spice.
I saw my ancestors. I literally saw the dawn of creation.
I had to guide you out of the restaurant like a wounded Victorian child recovering from consumption.
My soul, fully detached from my physical body, it was hovering above the injera bread. I was fighting for my life. And you were just what? Calmly sipping sparkling water?
Hydration is key. But my absolute favorite part of that entire geographical debacle was getting lost in the Addis Mercado right after that.
Oh my God, when we completely lost our bearings.
Yes, and watching you try to haggle for those massive, ridiculous woven hats while visibly weeping from the residual spicy food.
I couldn't figure out the Amharic translation for anything, so I just panic bought them.
Tears are streaming down your face, your nose is running, and you are trying to negotiate the price of straw
It
goods.
was an objective disaster.
The merchant didn't even know what to do with the emotional liability standing in front of him. He just gave you a massive discount out of pure, unadulterated pity.
Hey, an accidental masterclass in emotional manipulation. I will take a discount however it manifests.
I'm sure you will.
But speaking of emotional manipulation and absolute legends, we have to talk about meeting Joan and Felicia.
Oh, our OG Snark queens.
I mean, meeting listeners of the show in real life is always a wild experience, but the sheer overwhelming chaos that came with those two, I felt like I was bowing before royalty.
Oh, they are absolute titans of industry. They walked into that brunch spot with the terrifying energy of women who have seen it all, judged it all, and meticulously cataloged the receipts in a fireproof safe.
Yes. Oh my God, perfectly said.
I think Joan analyzed and dismantled my posture within 4 seconds of sitting down, and honestly, I have never respected a human being more.
I will never, ever forget it. She looked at you over the rim of her mimosa glass, adjusted her reading glasses,
Yeah.
and said, "You slouch like you carry the weight of other people's bad decisions."
A legendary read.
I violently choked on my drink. It's an iconic read. They encapsulate the exact unapologetic energy this entire Snark Squad community thrives on.
They really do.
But honestly, out of all these big, massive, globe-trotting moments this year, you know what my actual favorite memory is.
Please tell me it's not the Tuesday you tried to convince me to start a massive gelatinous kombucha mother in my guest bathtub.
First of all,
Because I am still emotionally scarred from that proposal.
that was a highly lucrative business idea that you aggressively stifled.
Uh-huh.
But no, it's not the kombucha.
Thank God.
It's just the tiny lived-in moments. Like, do you remember that random gloomy Thursday when it was pouring rain and the barometric pressure was completely shot?
Oh, and we ordered that aggressively mediocre strip mall sushi.
Yes. And we just sat in complete silence on my floor for like 45 minutes doing a Sunday crossword puzzle.
I do remember that.
And out of nowhere, you looked up, stared at the blank wall, and delivered the absolute shadiest, most pinpoint accurate psychological read about my ex-boyfriend.
Yes. The bootcut jeans revelation.
It had nothing to do with anything. It was tiny, it was deeply petty, and it was perfect.
I just realized that he fundamentally possessed the spirit of a man who still wears bootcut jeans in a post-bootcut society. I didn't plan it.
It was pure poetry.
The spirit of truth just temporarily possessed my body. When the sociological math adds up, I have an obligation to speak it aloud.
It was a sniper shot from a mile away. But babes, this nostalgia is actually feeding directly into a massive spiral I'm having today. I cannot hold it in anymore. I need to talk about the massive oppressive elephant sitting in the room right now.
Okay, what is it?
The weather app. Have you looked at the 14-day forecast? Have you seen the absolute betrayal on the screen?
I generally try to avoid digital interfaces that cause me existential distress, but yes, I am acutely aware of the shifting barometric pressure and the angle of the sun.
Summer is ending. It is actively slipping through our fingers like dry sand.
Here we go.
I am so profoundly emotional about this. Like, I am in a state of active mourning. I mourn the long, humid evenings. I mourn the psychological freedom of having absolutely nowhere to be at 7 p.m.
You never have anywhere to be at 7 p.m.
That is not the point. I mourn the produce. Why does a tomato only taste fundamentally correct in the month of July?
That is actually a fair point.
Right. Why is the universe so cruel to us? It literally disappears in a flash. 1 minute, it's Memorial Day weekend, and I'm buying an oversized, incredibly impractical pool float I do not need.
You don't even have a pool.
And the next minute, the sun is setting at 5:45 in the afternoon, and I'm taking vitamin D supplements just to feel human.
The desperation with which you are clinging to this season is a psychological study in denial, truly.
I am not in denial.
Snark Squad, you need the full context here. My lovely co-host has been attempting to squeeze in the last metaphorical drops of summer with a chaotic, frantic energy that is deeply concerning to witness.
I am just being festive.
You forced us to go to a rooftop bar yesterday? It was 58 degrees outside.
It wasn't that cold.
It was actively drizzling, the wind was whipping, and I sat there wrapped in a trench coat watching you shiver in a matching linen set.
Linen is breathable.
You were aggressively sipping a watered-down Aperol spritz just to prove a point to the sky. You are hypothermic, Your lips were a distinct, terrifying shade of blue.
It was the principle of the matter. I refuse to let the season go down without a fight. I will wear linen until the snow falls.
The delusion.
But, okay, I have a dark confession to make.
Oh, this should be good.
And Snark Squad, I need you to flood the comments and DMs on this because I am deeply conflicted.
Go on.
Babes, is it too early to go absolutely feral for pumpkin spice?
I knew it. I literally knew it.
Because I walked past a bakery this morning, the automatic doors slid open, I smelled a heavy waft of nutmeg and cinnamon, and my knees legitimately buckled.
And here lies the ultimate delusion. This is the absolute textbook definition of seasonal cognitive dissonance.
How?
You are violently mourning the loss of summer in one breath, risking pneumonia in linen shorts in the rain, and in the exact next breath, you are completely ready to guzzle a 500-calorie scalding hot syrup drink while it is currently 85 degrees inside your apartment.
But it's the vibe.
It is pure madness. It defies the laws of physics and logic.
It's the coziness of it all.
Yeah.
The second the calendar flips to September, my brain demands that I wear an oversized, chunky knit sweater, hold a ceramic mug with two hands like I'm in a Folgers commercial, and blow gently on the steam.
It's a biological imperative, I suppose.
Exactly.
You don't even enjoy the physical taste of the beverage. You like the concept of the taste.
That's incredibly accurate.
You are romanticizing a highly engineered, seasonally restricted corporate marketing ploy. It is liquid potpourri mixed with dairy.
Wow. Okay, just drag me.
But fine, if you want to actively sweat through a wool-blend sweater while drinking hot syrup, I cannot physically stop you, but I reserve the constitutional right to judge you from across the room.
I fully and completely accept your judgment.
Excellent.
You know what else I accept? I accept that this exact feeling, like this desperate, white-knuckled grip on a delusion, it is the perfect segue into the Bravo universe.
Oh, absolutely.
Because my spiked limeade is actively hitting my bloodstream right now, and I am practically foaming at the mouth. This desperation I have holding on to summer. It's the exact same delusion Pinky is showing holding on to Slutty Vegan.
The parallels are striking.
We need to unpack the unmitigated historical bedlams of Atlanta, Season 17, Episode 19.
Let's open the case file on this absolute disaster, because bedlam is truly the only appropriate noun here.
Babes, I need to start with the sheer volume. I was spiraling on my couch about the overtalking.
Oh, it's a sonic assault.
It was completely impossible to hear a single cohesive sentence. Andy Cohen is sitting in that chair looking like an exhausted substitute teacher who has completely lost control of a kindergarten classroom.
He looked physically pained.
Everyone, and I mean everyone on that right side of the stage, but specifically Kelly, was shrieking.
Yes.
They weren't yelling, they weren't arguing, they were emitting ultrasonic shrieks. Like, why do they always escalate to screaming over each other at the exact millisecond the actual truth is about to slip out?
Well, it's not an accident. It's a calculated defensive auditory mechanism.
Right.
If we analyze the psychology of a reunion stage, this is a classic flooding tactic.
Wow.
If you output enough sheer noise, you completely jam the conversational radar.
So true.
Kelly isn't trying to communicate a point. She's actively deploying a sonic boom to prevent factual information from entering the atmosphere.
A sonic boom.
It's the producer's dream and the sound mixer's nightmare. They deliberately leave all the microphones hot instead of isolating the audio channels, specifically to capture this exact chaotic overlap.
They want our ears to bleed.
But let's be brutally honest here. That entire right couch would have been a legendary flop, like a historical masterclass in giving the audience absolutely nothing, if not for the presence of K. Michelle.
Oh, K. Michelle's the anchor, no question.
Her aura alone exerted enough gravitational pull to keep that side of the room tethered to the earth.
Even when she's babbling absolute nonsense about PayPal.
Exactly. She possesses this undeniable gravity. Meanwhile, the rest of them are turning minor infractions like someone eating meat into apocalyptic, world-ending shouting matches.
Wait, okay, before we get into the meat and the screaming matches, I literally gasped out loud. Like, I physically slipped off the edge of my sofa when Cynthia Bailey made her entrance.
Oh, Cynthia.
Cynthia, our eternal, perpetual friend of the show. She descends those steps, and I am leaning forward thinking, oh, here we go. She's bringing a laminated folder of receipts. She's bringing the heat.
And what did she bring?
No, nothing. She drops the ultimate gravity-defying flop of an update. She comes out just to announce to the world that she is still dating the prince.
Still dating.
No engagement ring, no explosive breakup, no secret betrayal. Just, we're still together, I laughed hysterically for 3 straight minutes.
We really have to talk about the visual presentation because it was everything. It told the entire story without her having to utter a single word.
Yes.
She arrives on this highly combative stage wearing a black pantsuit equipped with a floor-length cape. A cape.
A cape.
And when Andy, bless him, attempts to ask her about the sartorial choice, she immediately corrects him. It's a jumpsuit. Comfortability is life, babes.
Comfortability is life.
Do you understand the sheer audacity of that? She used the most high-stakes, highly viewed television event of the Atlanta season strictly to promote comfort in her cringy new single.
Oh my God, the song.
Oh.
I completely blocked it out.
You can't block it out. It was playing on a loop.
Georgia's own, Atlanta grown, Sweetest Life. It was playing over the loudspeakers, and she was just gently bopping her head to it like she was at a day spa.
It was entirely surreal. She's sitting amidst this absolute carnage, looking like a beautiful, completely mute, atmospheric prop.
A prop.
She has arguably the greatest bone structure in the history of reality television, and she has given us absolutely nothing of substance. It's crossed the line from boring into high avant-garde art.
Truly.
She just floated onto the set, dropped a Spotify link, confirmed she's in a stable, aggressively boring relationship, and collected her Bravo paycheck. The efficiency of the grift demands respect, honestly.
You really have to respect the hustle. It's deeply peaceful.
Very zen.
But peace is the absolute antithesis of what we got from Pinky Cole and Phaedra Parks.
Now we get to the meat of it. Pun intended.
Babes, my jaw hit the hardwood floor. Pinky Cole is sitting there, draped in high-end couture, dripping in professional glam, aggressively bragging about a $5 million bankruptcy for her restaurant, Slutty Vegan.
Bragging.
She is wearing a Chapter 11 filing like it's a gold medal at the Olympics.
The sheer density of the delusion is breathtaking.
I reacted so intensely to this because she was practically demanding the audience stand up and applaud her for going broke.
If we break this down logically and connect it to the bigger picture, Pinky is attempting a PR spin that fundamentally misunderstands the reality of corporate finance.
Complete.
She is trying to rebrand a massive corporate failure as a strategic masterclass in high-level business. And her defense...
Well, don't even get me started on the defense.
She literally looked at the camera and compared her current situation to the H.J. Heinz Company.
That's screaming.
She said, well, Heinz filed for bankruptcy. Yes, Pinky, they absolutely did. In 1875.
1875. I didn't even realize the timeline.
The year of the phonograph's invention. You cannot ethically use a condiment crisis from the Gilded Age to justify your current inability to manage a modern vegan burger chain.
She was speaking with the confidence of someone who just personally solved the national debt crisis. You know, she kept saying, it's a tool. The bankruptcy code is a tool.
A very expensive tool.
And the entire time she is giving this TED Talk on financial ruin, Phaedra is just sitting across from her, staring with this lethal, unblinking, dead-eyed glare.
And this specific moment is where Phaedra actually clocked in for the entire season. This is the Phaedra we remember.
Yes.
Phaedra didn't scream. She didn't flail her arms. She delivered the absolute undisputed read of the night.
Though she cleared her.
She looked directly at Pinky, completely unfazed by the corporate jargon, and said, if you're going to be braggadocious, you've got to pay your damn bills.
Pay your damn bills.
It is so profound in its raw simplicity. You cannot stunt for the cameras, act like you can buy and sell every woman in that room, wear designer labels, and then hide behind the protections of Chapter 11 when the commercial rent comes due.
Exactly.
And Phaedra raised a very valid, incredibly dark point that Pinky tried to gloss over. Actual Black investors lost real money in this venture.
That part. That was the moment the temperature in the room dropped 30 degrees.
Because it stopped being a theoretical business discussion.
Right. Because Pinky is trying to deflect, saying, well, Bed Bath & Beyond filed for bankruptcy. And Phaedra's not letting her off the hook.
Not for a second.
She's essentially saying, yeah, Bed Bath & Beyond went under, but the local people who invested in your specific dream, the community you constantly claim to uplift and represent, they're the ones who got burned, not some faceless hedge fund.
It was incredibly heavy.
And instead of taking a single ounce of accountability, Pinky gets wildly defensive. And then, because this is Atlanta, we veer immediately from corporate finance into the messy, petty details. The rumors that Pinky actively eats meat at a local Jamaican restaurant.
Which, in the context of her specific brand identity, is the most devastating career-ending accusation you can possibly throw at the founder of a company called Slutty Vegan.
Literally.
The streets are actively whispering that she's tearing up plates of oxtail behind closed doors.
Oxtail.
And instead of laughing it off as a ridiculous rumor, Pinky allegedly threatened Phaedra. The behind-the-scenes rumors are absolutely wild. People are saying Pinky threatened Phaedra with a pow-pow, or that she called the higher-ups to intimidate her.
A pow-pow. I cannot process this terminology.
That's absurd.
We are grown, adult women sitting on a multi-million-dollar television soundstage wearing custom evening gowns, and we are using toddler language to describe bringing out a firearm.
A pow-pow.
It is completely unhinged. But you know who else is existing on an unhinged plane of reality? Kelly Farrell.
Oh, Kelly, where do we even begin with the tragedy of Kelly?
Babes, Angela Oakley utterly and completely dismantled Kelly. Destroyed her. Left absolutely no crumbs on the stage. She salted the earth where Kelly's chair stood so nothing will ever grow there again.
It was a scorched earth campaign.
I lost my mind when Angela looked at her, tilting her head slightly, and called her everybody's golden retriever.
Yeah.
The shade of it all.
The utter accuracy. It was a surgical strike. Because if we look at Kelly's behavior all season, she has been blindly loyal, just happily panting and jogging after whoever tosses her a conversational treat.
Jogging after a treat.
She lacks a core alliance. But Angela wasn't just throwing out petty insults. She was building a case.
Oh, she was litigating.
She zeroed in with terrifying precision on Kelly's alleged fraudulent housing situation and her boyfriend Jarvis, a man who, let's be honest, sounds more like a collective hallucination than a human being.
I am still not entirely convinced Jarvis is real, but this was the read of the night. I had to pause my television, babes. I had to stand up, walk around my kitchen island 3 times, and take a deep breath, just to process this sheer violence of what Angela said.
It was breathtaking.
She looks at Kelly, completely deadpan, and asks, "Are you homeless, baby? You have new teeth and nowhere to sleep, you broke bitch."
Let me break down exactly why this read is a masterpiece of the reality television genre.
Please do.
It's the harsh socioeconomic juxtaposition. It's the contrast of the cosmetic dentistry against the complete lack of a permanent residential address that elevates this to high art.
High art.
Veneers are incredibly expensive. But mortgages and rent in Atlanta are also incredibly expensive. Kelly apparently looked at her budget and prioritized the jawline over the roof.
I cannot.
And how does Kelly respond to this devastating factual blow? By shrieking. Endless, sustained, high-pitched shrieking.
Yes.
She was trying to protect the reality of her housing fraud by physically blowing out the microphones in the studio.
She was just trying to create a wall of sound so the audience couldn't hear Angela. And the aftermath of this specific exchange is almost funnier than the episode itself.
Oh, the social media fallout.
Did you see the incredibly petty post-taping fallout? Kelly got cooked so viciously by the fans online that she literally had to go into her Instagram settings, open the privacy filters, and manually mute the words Drew and Portia just to protect her common algorithm.
That is the modern digital equivalent of waving a massive white flag in battle.
Literally.
When you have to alter the foundational code of your social media presence to hide from the public shame of a reunion taping, you are officially the town clown.
Town clown. I love that phrase.
Kelly walked onto that stage thinking she was coming for the crown, and she ended up being dragged out as the court jester.
But okay, if we want to talk about true, deep, guttural mess, like the kind of mess that ruins actual lives outside the show, we have to talk about the mamas, the pipes, and the Jezebels.
The lowest blow of the evening.
The absolute unmitigated violation of Shemaya versus K. Michelle and Portia. Babes, I loudly gasped. The pure boundary-crossing violation of dragging elderly mothers into a feud.
It is the golden unspoken rule of reality television dating back to the dawn of the genre. You do not, under any circumstances, bring the mothers into the crossfire.
Ever.
The second you invoke a matriarch, the Geneva Convention rules of engagement are thrown completely out the window. It is scorched earth from that second forward.
Portia literally screamed at the top of her lungs that Shemaya's mom, Diane, is a Jezebel. A Jezebel.
Such an antiquated insult, too.
She said Mama Diane showed up to a local hookah lounge at 2 a.m. with her breasts pushed all the way up to her chin, and that she called Portia's dad over to her house to fix the pipe.
Fix the pipe.
And then Portia, completely losing her mind, screams, "My dad has no teeth. He has no teeth."
Which is just an incredibly bizarre, wildly unnecessary detail to include in your defense strategy. Like, why are we bringing up the dental records of elderly
Right.
fathers?
But wait, I have to firmly push back on this whole fixing a pipe outrage.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear it.
Let's think about this logically. Back in the 70s and 80s, wasn't fixing a pipe just the original analog version of Netflix and chill?
Whoa.
Like if you called a grown man over to your house at night to fix a pipe, you absolutely weren't looking for a wrench. It was an understood code. Can we really blame Mama Diane for shooting her shot using the vernacular of her time?
I see the romanticized point you were trying to make, but let's analyze the generational translation of the booty call here.
Okay, analyze it.
Yes, fixing a pipe is absolute vintage, undeniable code for a late-night rendezvous. But the context in which it was weaponized is what makes it lethal.
True.
Portia didn't bring it up to celebrate Mama Diane's active dating life. She brought it up to humiliate Shemay, because Shemay was the one doing all this insidious off-camera scheming.
Yes. Drew Sidora sat there and methodically exposed Shemay's entire plotting mechanism.
Shemay purposefully manipulated K. Michelle by whispering in her ear, telling her the other women didn't want to be friends with her. She weaponized K. Michelle's very real past trauma and her deep-seated feelings of exclusion, specifically to isolate her and build a blind alliance.
It was so dark.
Shemay is playing chess, but she's playing it in the mud.
Exactly. Shemay is a sniper from the side. She's playing the incredibly loyal, supportive friend to K. Michelle's face, while actually orchestrating this massive season-long divide behind everyone's backs.
And K. Michelle, bless her heart, genuinely fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Which brings us to the most unhinged, legally dubious prop in the history of Housewives reunions. Portia versus K. Michelle, the physical lie detector test.
I truly cannot believe we have reached a point in our society where petty housewife feuds require the intervention of polygraph technicians. It is a staggering evolution of the genre.
I screamed when she reached behind her. Portia literally pulled out the physical, printed results of a lie detector test, a stack of paper. She confidently stated that she took this polygraph the night before the reunion inside her hotel room, with Drew Sidora sitting there as a sworn witness just to mathematically prove that Kelly slept with a married pastor.
It is absolute mid-90s Maury Povich behavior.
Or yes.
We are taking daytime talk show paternity test tactics and applying them to a premium Bravo reunion. Let me be clear. A polygraph administered in a Marriott suite by a hired technician while a cast member watches is completely, utterly, legally inadmissible anywhere on planet Earth.
Oh, but
It is a ridiculous theatrical stunt.
I completely disagree. It's amazing television. It's the ultimate trump card. Portia is waving these crinkled papers around like she just signed the Declaration of Independence.
It's theatrical nonsense.
She is treating it like a Supreme Court ruling.
Here.
But the best part is, K. Michelle is not backing down for a second. K. Michelle reaches into her own arsenal and pulls out a literal, notarized cease and desist letter right there on the stage.
Yuling documents.
She is handing out heavy legal documents, like they are party favors, to physically shut people up. And then, mid-argument, starts making these wildly specific, bizarre accusations about a rich PayPal man.
Ooh, rich PayPal man. It sounds like an internet cryptid, like a terrifying urban legend you whisper about at a Silicon Valley sleepover to scare tech founders.
Beware the rich PayPal man. And Portia, completely unfazed, without missing a single beat, delivers the flawless, absolute finishing blow of the segment.
She really did.
She looks K. Michelle dead in the eye, completely deadpan, and says, "I've never heard of a man being rich on PayPal."
The logic is unassailable, honestly. You cannot argue with the financial mechanics of that statement.
Yeah.
Wealth is not stored in a third-party payment processing app.
It was brilliant. And then, before K. Michelle can even process the logic, Portia hits her with the ultimate filthiest instruction ever uttered on that stage.
Oh, Lord.
She looks at her and loudly tells K. Michelle to close her glory hole.
The absolute unmitigated gutter. We started this evening discussing high-end corporate bankruptcy in couture gowns, and we ended in the plumbing of a glory hole.
From Heinz 1875 to a glory hole.
It was a flawless narrative arc. It was poetry.
I need a moment to catch my breath. My heart rate is visibly spiking. Snark Squad, I hope you are adequately hydrated, because instead of just running down a list, we need to weave all this chaos together and officially hand out our judgments for the night.
Let's do it.
We need to litigate who actually won this reunion and who completely rewrote history.
Let's unpack the hardware, because despite the chaos, there were clear victors. Who are you crowning as the absolute MVP of this reunion?
Okay, I know we usually argue about this stuff, but I think the math is too clear this time. It has to be Angela.
There is no other logical conclusion. Angela is the undisputed MVP. Let me explain why she succeeded where everyone else failed. What makes Angela so incredibly lethal in these environments is her stillness. While everyone else, specifically Kelly, is vibrating at an emotional frequency that literally shatters glass, Angela is sitting completely perfectly calm.
Unbothered.
She does not raise the volume of her voice once. She just breathes, centers herself, and delivers lethal, mathematically accurate reads. It is elite sniper behavior.
Yes. She breathes entirely from her diaphragm, babes. She doesn't let the adrenaline spike her pitch. She just looks you directly in the eye, lowers her tone, and surgically removes your entire self-esteem without breaking a sweat.
Exactly.
Which naturally leads us to the best read of the night. We've talked about it, but it bears repeating.
The choice is obvious.
Are you homeless, baby? You have new teeth and nowhere to sleep, you broke bitch.
That sentence belongs engraved in marble at the Smithsonian Institute. It perfectly encapsulates the absurdity of reality television priorities.
I genuinely want it embroidered on a throw pillow for my living room. Like, I need it.
Well,
It is the perfect read because it attacks the vanity and the stark, depressing reality simultaneously.
it's multifaceted shade.
Now, what about the best outfit?
Mhm.
Because this is where I think we might diverge.
I will stand firm on this. It has to be Cynthia Bailey's jumpsuit cape.
Oh, I knew it.
As she so wisely declared, comfortability is life, babes. Here is the reality of the situation. When you have absolutely nothing to contribute to the plot, when you are completely devoid of a storyline, you must, at the very least, contribute to the visual aesthetic of the room.
That is so true.
The sheer volume of fabric in that cape gave us the sweeping, dramatic narrative arc that her actual life currently lacks.
It was giving highly relaxed supervillain lounging at an exclusive Swiss Alps resort. I couldn't look away from it. Now, pivoting to the dark side. Biggest villain of the night.
Shemaya. It isn't even a debate.
Shemaya. She's sitting off camera, doing heavy alliance building algebra, carrying the one, calculating the betrayals, and she still got caught red-handed.
It was messy work.
The specific way she manipulated Kay Michelle's feelings of abandonment is genuinely dark. It crosses the line from fun, messy reality TV shade into malicious psychological manipulation.
It's the calculated isolation tactic that elevates her to true villain status. Looking someone in the eye and saying, "No one in this group likes you except for me, I am your only ally," is literal textbook cult leader behavior. It's insidious.
Insidious is the exact word. Now, for the final piece of our assessment, most delusional moment. And I will fight you if you say anyone other than Pinky.
I wouldn't dream of fighting you on this. It is Pinky.
Hands down. Pinky comparing slutty vegan going bankrupt to a massive global retailer like Bed Bath & Beyond. She was acting like filing Chapter 11 is an exclusive, highly sought-after masterclass you can only take at Harvard Business School.
She wore that bankruptcy filing like it was a rare, customized Birkin bag. The profound delusion required to sit on national television and attempt to reframe a devastating financial collapse as an aspirational boss babe power move, especially while the actual people who invested their hard-earned money in you are taking massive losses.
Exactly.
It's a level of detachment from reality that is truly deeply staggering.
It really is. It's scary delusion.
But speaking of who brought facts to the table versus who brought delusion, we really need to litigate who had actual receipts versus who is just furiously rewriting history on the fly.
Well, if we are talking strictly about tangible, physical items brought to the stage to prove a point, technically, Portia is the only one who qualifies.
Thank you. She brought a lie detector test. That is a physical piece of paper with graphs and charts on it. That is a receipt.
We can sit here and debate the scientific validity and the historical inaccuracy of polygraphs all day long. They measure stress, not truth, and they are famously, universally inadmissible in a court of law.
I know.
But babes, we are not in a federal courthouse. We are operating on the Snark side. And on the Snark side, if you go out of your way to bring a printed, stapled document administered by a paid professional in a hotel room while a cast member watches in awe,
Yes.
that functions as a receipt.
Admissible. The Snark side Supreme Court fully accepts this evidence. Now, on the flip side, who completely changed their story and rewrote their own history? Shemaya. She was doing the verbal moonwalk all night long.
The verbal moonwalk.
She constantly backpedaled and contradicted herself on who said what about George, the neighbor, and the married men. First, she adamantly claimed she never said it.
Right.
Then, 5 minutes later, she admitted she said it, but claimed she meant it in a completely different context. Then, she blamed someone else for hearing it wrong. It was exhausting verbal gymnastics.
She was visibly sweating. She could not keep the architecture of her lies straight, and who conveniently forgot their own reality.
Kelly. Absolutely, undeniably Kelly.
Yeah.
She completely and totally forgot she is currently living in an alleged fraudulent housing situation while simultaneously trying to act high and mighty about her marriage.
Like, hello.
You cannot be morally superior about your relationship status when your residential address is a work of total fiction.
A work of fiction. I love that. My home is a fantasy novel. Okay, last question on this. Who actually deserved a genuine look-you-in-the-eye apology?
Tay Michelle. And I do not say that lightly, because she brought plenty of her own chaos.
Oh, she brought chaos. But I completely agree. She genuinely got played like a fiddle.
She did.
She came into that reunion incredibly hot. She fiercely defended Shemaya. She went up against cast members she had no real beef with, all because she was heavily manipulated by those fake friendship isolation tactics.
She honestly thought she was fighting a noble war for a real friend, and she was just a disposable pawn on Shemaya's board. She deserves a profound apology.
Which she will never, ever receive.
No, because the ecosystem of reality television fundamentally does not reward or encourage genuine contrition.
Amen to that. It rewards doubling down.
Yeah.
Okay, it is time for my absolute favorite part of our recap process. We need to dissect the reunion group chat.
Excellent.
We have procured, and by procured I mean we completely 100% fabricated the group chat texts that were undoubtedly sent the second the cameras powered down and everyone retreated to their separate dressing rooms.
Let's read the digital entrails and see what they reveal about the psychology of these women.
Yeah. Okay, the first text comes in hot at 11:42 p.m. It's from Cynthia, of course. Did you guys stream my song yet? Use the link in bio. Peaches. Peach emoji, sparkle emoji.
And naturally, absolutely no one replies to her. There is just an endless echoing silence.
Crickets.
Then, 3 minutes later, a desperate text from Kelly. Hey guys, can anyone Venmo me $50? Jarvis forgot his wallet again. Also unrelated, but does anyone have a spare couch I can crash on tonight, just for a few weeks?
Oh, that is utterly savage. Okay, then Pinky chimes in, completely ignoring Kelly's financial distress. Filing Chapter 11 is actually a boss move. Read a book, ladies. Forbes is literally calling me for a cover interview right now.
An incredible delusion. And finally, a highly practical text from Portia rounds out the night. Does anyone know a reliable, discreet plumber asking for Mama Diane?
I am officially deceased.
Yeah.
Mama Diane and the pipes. It is the joke that will never, ever get old.
Never.
Okay, babes. We are heading into the home stretch. Based on the absolute carnage, the ruined friendships, and the legal threats we just witnessed, we need to make our wildest predictions for next season. Where does this franchise possibly go from here?
Let's start by assessing the permanent casualties. Friendships that are officially irrevocably over.
Portia and Shemaya. Done. Dead. Buried in the backyard.
You cannot medically resuscitate a relationship after that exchange. You do not scream on national television that someone's elderly mother is a Jezebel out wandering the streets looking for a pipe to fix, and then expect a cheerful happy birthday text the following year.
Oh.
That bridge isn't just burned. The ashes have been collected and scattered into the sea. There is nothing left to rebuild.
The pipe metaphor broke them forever. It was a structural collapse.
Yeah.
Okay, who is going to drag their feud into the next season?
Kelly versus Angela.
Oh, forever.
Kelly is going to spend this entire off-season seething in a rented apartment. She's going to practice lethal reads in her bathroom mirror every morning.
With flashcards.
She will return next season absolutely, terrifyingly desperate for revenge, completely convinced she has the upper hand. And Angela is just going to slowly blink, lower her voice by half an octave, and read her for absolute filth all over again. It is going to be a recurring bloodbath.
Angela doesn't even need to prep. She doesn't need flashcards. She just wakes up lethal. Okay, what relationship actually survives this mess intact?
Cynthia and LaPrince.
Because they are so incredibly safely boring.
Exactly. Absolutely no one is plotting against their downfall because there is no plot to actively disrupt. They are existing in a total vacuum of narrative neutrality.
Yes.
They will survive simply because they are practically invisible to the drama happening around them.
They are wearing a jumpsuit cape of invisibility. Okay, who returns next season trying to push a completely manufactured new storyline?
Pinky, without a doubt.
Yes. She is going to pivot so hard she gives herself whiplash.
She's going to completely rebrand as a financial literacy guru and wealth advisor.
Oh my God.
She will host a mandatory cast trip that is actually just a seminar. She will have a massive whiteboard. She will try to teach the other women how to leverage corporate restructuring to build generational wealth.
Stop it.
And Phaedra is just going to sit in the front row, sipping a cocktail, staring a literal hole through Pinky's forehead the entire time.
Welcome to my exclusive masterclass on Chapter 11. I can literally see the glossy flyer in my mind right now. Okay, give me one final, completely ridiculous prediction that somehow feels entirely possible within the twisted logic of this universe.
Mama Diane gets a full-time peach next season.
Yes, this is a timeline I want to live in.
She gets a peach. She is seated firmly on the center couch at the reunion, and her official intro tagline is, "I may not have teeth, but I sure know how to lay a pipe."
I am screaming. Andy Cohen, if you or any Bravo executives are listening to this right now, cut the massive check. Give Mama Diane the peach she rightfully deserves.
Long overdue.
Babes, I am physically exhausted in the absolute best way possible. Dissecting this madness with you is exactly why we do this.
It truly is a fascinating sociological experiment, brilliantly disguised as cheap entertainment.
It really is. Okay, Snark Squad, it is officially your turn to weigh in. We are tossing the microphone directly to you. Get in the comments, flood our DMs. We desperately want to hear from you.
We read them all.
First question. What is your absolute favorite memory of the year so far? Let's get warm and nostalgic before the cold sets in. Second, what will you genuinely miss most about summer? I need someone out there to validate my profound sadness over the declining quality of tomatoes.
Someone validate her, please.
And most importantly, the ultimate franchise-ending debate. Is it officially, legally pumpkin spice season, or are we being completely, utterly, delusionally ridiculous? Sound off.
Before we sign off, babes, I want to leave you with one last, slightly darker thought to mull over. Just take a step back and think about this trajectory. Look at what the reality television genre has fundamentally become. A decade ago, we used to throw glasses of Pinot Grigio across Italian restaurants. We used to physically tug at wigs at pool parties. It was visceral, it was physical, it was deeply human drama. Now, we are aggressively dropping printed polygraph tests on couches.
Yeah.
We are reading Chapter 11 corporate bankruptcy filings aloud. We are serving notarized legal cease and desist directly on the coffee table. Have our messy, glorious housewife fights been entirely replaced by sterile courtroom theatrics?
Wow.
Are we still watching a reality show about friendships, or are we just watching a very aggressive legal deposition with significantly better lighting? Think about it.
Ooh, a legal deposition with better lighting.
Yeah.
I have literal chills. That is profoundly sad, but so accurate. Snark Squad, we love you so much. Stay shady, stay cozy in your chunky knits, and we'll see you right back here on the Snark side.